Center for the Ethiopian Educational Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs. Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to today's lesson on bacteria in industrial processes. In our last lesson, we studied bacteria and disease. We discussed the concept of reservoir of infection. We learned about hosts of infection and how they transmit microorganisms. We also discussed the term route of transmission. Today, we will study bacteria in industrial processes. We will look at a few ways in which bacteria are used to produce common items. In this lesson, we will mainly focus on food and beverage production. Are you ready to get started? Let us begin with an activity. Students, list all the food and beverages you can think of that are made by bacteria and yeast.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello again, everyone. I am sure you were able to think of many good examples.
Some items you may have listed could include injera, yogurt, cheese, beer, te'ela, te'ej, or wine. All of these would be considered correct answers. So far in this unit, we have learned how bacteria are essential to many aspects of our daily lives and in the larger environment. For years, bacteria, along with other microorganisms, have been used to make products that we need to survive and other products that we enjoy. We are going to learn how bacteria are used to produce some of these items. Let us begin by talking about the process of fermentation. Fermentation is the breakdown of carbohydrates into organic acids, alcohols, and carbon dioxide using bacteria, yeasts, or a combination of the two. Fermentation happens under anaerobic conditions, meaning without oxygen. Let us look at the example of yogurt. Yogurt is made by fermenting milk with bacteria. The milk sugar, or lactose, is fermented by bacteria such as Lactobacillus bulgaricus. The lactose is converted into lactic acid, which causes the milk to curdle. Lactic acid is what gives yogurt its thicker consistency, as well as its distinct sour flavor. Lactic acid also works to restrict the growth of harmful bacteria from growing in yogurt. Let us take a look at bread, like injera, in the fermentation process. During the process, sugar is converted into alcohol and carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide will form bubbles, which are trapped by the gluten of the wheat. This causes the dough to rise and form a spongy texture. The fermentation of dough takes a short period, so only small amounts of alcohol are formed. The alcohol evaporates when the bread is baked. This is what fermentation looks like when it takes place in dough. As you can see, carbon dioxide forms and makes the mixture bubble. Students, let us do an activity to review what we have learned so far. Please determine if the following statements are true or false.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello again, everyone. I am sure this was a simple activity for you. Let us review the answers. The statement fermentation occurs when oxygen is present is false. Fermentation requires anaerobic conditions to occur. The next statement, injera, cheese, and beer are made through fermentation, is true. The statement fermentation breaks down alcohol into carbon dioxide is false. Fermentation actually breaks down carbohydrates into alcohol and carbon dioxide. The last statement, in yogurt fermentation, lactic acid causes milk to curdle and produces a sour taste, is true. How did you do, students? I am sure everyone did a great job. Let us discuss one more item that is produced using bacteria. Vinegar is a flavorful liquid with a distinct taste. It is a dilute solution of ethanoic acid in water. Vinegar is used to flavor and preserve food. Vinegar is produced by fermenting beer, wine, or cider for a second time. Like yogurt and bread, fermented beverages are produced in a similar way. Yeasts and bacteria are added to substances that contain sugar. Yeast and bacteria initiate the fermentation process, converting sugar into alcohol and carbon dioxide. If you turn your attention to this video, you can see the fermentation process taking place in home-brewed beer. When making vinegar, special bacteria called acetobacter oxidize the alcohol to ethanoic acid in beer, wine, or cider. The fermentation occurs in a special fermenter filled with wood shavings. The alcohol is sprayed in the fermenter from the top and seeps down through the wood shavings and bacteria. As the liquid flows through, the bacteria oxidize the alcohol to ethanoic acid. The vinegar drips out of the bottom of the fermenter. This is called continuous production because alcohol is continuously fed into the fermenter and ethanoic acid is continuously dripping out of the bottom. We have time for one last activity. Students, what is the role of the special bacteria Acetobacter in the production of vinegar?
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. I hope you were able to answer this question. Acetobacter is used to oxidize the alcohol in beer, wine, or cider to ethanoic acid. Did you answer correctly? If so, well done. We have reached the end of our lesson. Today, we started to learn about bacteria in the industrial process. We looked at the role of bacteria in food and beverage production. We also discussed fermentation. Until next time, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.